productive start to your day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, archangels, and of course the Most High help you with that today. The daily devotion is uploading right now. I almost ran out of time on the video for the prayer of the day, and now I'm here to pull a affirmation chakra wisdom card for the day for October 14th, 2024. It's another beautiful day here in my area. I hope you're having the blessing of beautiful weather as well. I also want to send loving, healing vibes to anybody who's dealing with loss, people that are still recovering from the storms, people that are dealing with addiction, displacement, homelessness, abuse, depression. If you're suffering from any of those things, please know that I'm sending you prayers. I'm sending you loving and healing energy. Please know that you are not alone in this world. Please, if you need to, even if somebody can't help you, they can listen. Even if they can't physically help you, there are people that are willing to listen and just love on you. All right, we got throat chakra, communication. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. I aim to be fully understood by others. I am open to giving and receiving praise, and I will be careful not to talk excessively and make it all about me. I create space in my conversations for others to communicate with me. I inquire about others' thoughts and feelings, as listening to their truth can be uplifting. Wow. What did I just say? What did I just say? Be willing to listen. You can show support in so many ways, and I say it often. Being supportive of somebody or showing somebody that you care, your time is the most valuable thing that you can give somebody. Time can't be bought. You can't return it. You can't get your money back. You can't go back and paint it a different picture. Once it's gone, it's gone. And a lot of people don't appreciate it when you give them your time. They don't see the value in it. But I promise you, there are people out there that will. There are people out there that will appreciate the time and the effort and the energy that you're willing to give. Even if there's no material gain involved. Some people, that's all they want is your time. You don't even have to talk, just listen. Sometimes that's all people need is somebody to listen. I say it all the time. There are so many people in this world that feel forgotten and feel left out and feel like they have nobody that they can turn to just have a shoulder to cry on, which we always have the Most High. We always have our angels, ancestors, guardian angels, spirit guides. They're always there. But especially people that are just starting their journey or they don't have that communication and relationship with the Most High, you know, I feel like that's something that we always have to work on to keep it strong. It's not something like you can be like, okay, I've made it, on to the next. You know, no, it's a relation, just like a relationship with a spouse, 414 on the timer. It's something that you constantly have to work on. Being a good communicator, being a good listener, being a good talker. Understanding that conversations are supposed to go two ways. It's not supposed to be just one talking. Now, of course, also remember that there are some people that are not worth your time. It's not even worth having a conversation with them. All they want to do is argue and fuss and be dumb. And I know that sounds childish to say it like that, but there are people in this world that you don't want to give them that time. They don't, it's not, it's a waste of your time. And I know that sounds cruel to say, because even people that struggle with demons, need love. But at the same time, there are a lot of people that don't want to let go of those demons. And they will use that to suck the energy and the life right out of you. Because you want to be there and be a good listener, be a good communicator, be a good support, right? And they will milk it for all it's worth, and they will drain you dry. So that's why I say so often how important it is to know your energy. Being able to know the difference between somebody that truly values, appreciates, and sees the effort that you're giving, even if that effort is just your time, versus the people that see that, but they don't value it. It's very important to know the difference. It's a fine line. You'll have people that it won't start out that way, but it'll turn into that because they give in and they go backwards, and they allow that demonic energy to take them over and let it drain them of their desire to grow and be better and to get better. Because we're all sick. Whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, we're all sick. But it's up to us to desire. We have to want to get better. Because somebody can't just come wave a magic wand and fix you. It's a whole list of things that have to be repaired in order to make that happen. And those repairs aren't going to happen unless you actively participate in repairing it. We talked about it when we were talking about the daily prayer card. Breaking out of that comfort zone. Being able to call yourself out. If you're the type of person that just aimlessly gives your energy to anybody and everybody, practice the pause. Process that. Really analyze what that relationship is. Who is it serving? Is it making you a better person, or is it crabs in the barrel where they're trying to drag you back down? Be very aware of that. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. Fear not. Lean not on your own understanding. If you haven't seen that video, it's not uploaded yet, but go check it out if you haven't seen it. By the time you see this one, that one will be uploaded. I create space in my conversations for others to communicate. Sometimes, all the time, you learn more from listening than you do from talking. If you're questioning a relationship with somebody, a coworker, a family member, a neighbor, whatever, if you're confused because you're leaning on your own understanding, practice the pause. Listen, observe. 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you, either by their actions, their lack of actions, or their words, or their lack of words. It's going to depend on the different situations. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. If you can't be honest with yourself, first of all, you're not going to be able to trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you going to do that with other people? Because in the end, you're lying either to yourself or to other people or to both. It's very important to be able to trust yourself. I inquire about others' thoughts and feelings, as listening to their truth can be uplifting. Taking that time to sit down with somebody that could be a complete stranger. Let's give an example. I'll give an example from my life, 955. I used to be when I was a little girl, I was scared of old people. We won't even talk about the reasons. We'll just leave it at that. Well, my grandfather, of course, was an old man already by that time. I mean, I say old man, I guess he was probably in his 60s, but he was a preacher, and he used to visit people at the nursing home. And he would well, not always, but a lot of times I would go with him. And that helped break my fear of old people. And now I'm very drawn to elderly people. But, just sitting down with an elder and just listening, you can learn so much. Like, even my grandmother at her worst. I know dementia works differently for different people, but with my grandmother, it's like the deleting of the memory files occurred backwards. So, like, the newer memories are the ones that got erased first. But she could still very much remember, her life, like when she was my age, or, like in her 20s and 30s. And there was one time where my mom had gone out of town, and I was helping watch my grandmother, because she lived with my mom, and my grandmother required 24-hour supervision. Well, I would stay with her during the day, and then my aunt would stay with her at nighttime. Which, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have just stayed with her all the time. But nonetheless, that's not the point. I was there one day, and I actually have it recorded somewhere, because I pushed record on my phone and just laid my phone down. But I was already in my 30s when this happened. And I found, just by letting my grandmother talk and tell stories, it helped me see how much I am like her. And how much influence she had on my life, but at the same time, how much we had in common. Which, my grandmother had 2 children and I only had 1, but we both got pregnant with our first child at 26. We both had our first child at age 27. My grandmother never planned on getting married. Her original plan was she was going to stay at home with her mom and dad and help take care of her mom and dad as they got older and teach Sunday school just like her mom did. That was her plan. Well, I never planned on getting married, and I never have been married. Which, people will think because I've had a kid that I've been married, but I haven't. I mean, I realize some people judge that their own way, but nonetheless, the whole point of me saying that was you can learn so much just from listening. Whether it's things that you're learning about people that are going to help you decide what that person's purpose is in your life, or things that you're going to learn and hear that may explain to you why you've been brought into their life. It can go either way. And just because somebody's older than you doesn't mean you can't teach them something. I remember very vividly, there was a time when it's when I was working at Curves. And there was a set of elderly women that came in. They were friends, and they were establishing memberships, and they actually never came back because one of the women got really hateful with me, basically questioning my ability, questioning my knowledge because of my age. And I pointed out to her that just because I'm younger than you doesn't mean I don't have that knowledge. And some people don't like that. Some people let their ego stop them. And I mean, vice versa. There are younger people that feel like older people can't teach them anything. There's no way you could understand what I'm going through, or, whatever, depending on the situation. So this came up yesterday too. Always be willing to learn. You learn a lot more by listening. Sometimes that's all people need is for you to listen. But also practice your communication skills better. I feel like I have pretty good communication skills. Sometimes I just don't use the right tones. I think that's part of my autism. Like, sometimes I think I come off as too aggressive when I don't necessarily intend to be, because I don't realize my tone. So anyways, practice better communication skills. Practice being a better listener. Practice being a better speaker. Practice pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it can have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.